Great
Hey, that was
program.
really
My
great.
God, I wondered about it.
Yeah.
Terrific ideas.
I can use those pointers immediately.
What's next, Jim?
On side 4 of the 36 biggest mistakes salespeople make and how to correct them, you'll hear more invaluable information for sellers, like using the you element in selling, how to mount a great presentation, how to be respected by buyers, learning to see yourself objectively, developing customer goodwill, selling quality instead of price, organizing cold calling, and lots more, all on this last tape of the program.
Last tape?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Come on.
I
let's
want to hear more.
Me too.
Give us
Come
more.
on.
More.
Welcome to the 4th tape of the 36 biggest mistakes salespeople make and how to correct them. On this tape, you'll hear more practical guidelines to help you increase your income and rise to the top of your profession. To begin, let's look at mistake number 28 of the 36 biggest mistakes salespeople make: crying instead of creating. They become discouraged by circumstances that can be overcome by creativity, patience, persistence, or extra effort. They drown in a well of self-pity, blaming bad breaks for their lack of production. Nobody promised us an easy time on this earth, and only a fool or a fake would call selling a snap. The road to success is a tough, uphill climb for the person whose goal is the top. But it's also a well-traveled highway. Successful people in all areas of life have taken it. They didn't turn back halfway because the going was too rough. Some found the necessary strength to continue within themselves. Others gained encouragement from the wise words of great people. Take the words of Theodore Roosevelt.
Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in the gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat.
If you're down because you've irretrievably lost a sale, you might think of the words of William Shakespeare.
What's gone and what's past help should be past grief.
When everything seems to be going wrong, consider the thoughts of George Bernard Shaw.
People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in the world are the people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, make them.
Sure, we all get discouraged, but discouragement is a luxury a successful salesperson can't afford for long. If you find yourself reaching the level of burnout, there are some things you can do. Consider taking a vacation, or at least ask for a few days off. Go somewhere and forget about selling. Sit under a tree, enjoy the surf of a tropical island, climb a mountain. Chances are you'll get a new perspective on your job and on yourself. It's a wise idea to take time out periodically to have a little chat with yourself about your values. You'll often end up with a clearer focus on your ambitions. Outside activity is another gloom chaser. If you live 24 hours a day for your job, you're not being fair to yourself, your family, or your community. Don't be a one-dimensional person. Spend time with your family. Find a hobby. Take part in civic affairs. Not only is this emotionally healthy, it will also give you an opportunity to meet new people, some of whom could be influential to your career. And remember that negativity ruins sales. Unless they can hide their feelings, downhearted salespeople cast a pall over an interview. Radiate confidence, and the prospect catches the fever. Show a downcast face, and you'll have a short meeting. Often the best remedy for those selling blues is to drive straight ahead. Make more calls, do more prospecting, think up new ideas, anything to keep you from wallowing in your own despondency. There's a good chance the problem will unravel itself. Let's review the corrections for the mistake of crying instead of creating.
Use your creativity, patience, and persistence to solve problems. Don't let yourself be overcome by discouragement.
Fight your discouragement by spending more time with your family, taking time off, increasing outside activities, and being inspired by the words of successful people.
Don't let negativity ruin your sales. Often the problem can be fought by driving straight ahead. Make more calls, do more prospecting, think up new ideas.
Don't turn away from the problem. Face it with fortitude. It isn't any bigger than you are. Too many salespeople fail to understand a fundamental fact of human nature. Buyers are interested in themselves. And these salespeople are making mistake number 29 of the 36 biggest mistakes salespeople make, not using the you element in selling. If prospects are in computers, they couldn't care less what your product did for somebody in the hardware business. You can talk price and quality until you're blue in the face without reaching them. Listen to the experience of a frustrated buyer named Ed.
There was one seller who had the product I really wanted. I would have done business with him in a minute if he'd had sense enough to gear his pitch to my interests. The guy spent 2% of his time on my problems and the other 98% on the benefits of his equipment to the banking field. I almost yawned in his face. What do I care about the application of his product to banking? I'm in electronics. I wanted to know what his machine would do for us.
A discerning salesperson would have realized that Ed was chiefly interested in how his competitors were using the product and how it was saving them money, time, and effort. This salesperson lost sight of the you element in selling, and he lost the order. Now, let's find out about the salesperson who made the sale.
The second fellow made a thorough study of our company, our problems, and the industry generally. His equipment was not widely used in our business, but this didn't deter him. He suggested that we tour the 3 or 4 electronics plants that had been using his product and see how they liked it. At each firm, the salesperson got the controllers to do a selling job for him. In one instance, a controller revealed that his company had gotten rid of the first salesperson's data processing equipment in favor of the second man's product. That was some endorsement. When we got back to my office, the salesperson really went to work. He cited clear-cut examples of how his equipment could do the same job or better for my firm. And he made his case with prepared facts and figures. This man had done his homework. He knew what I would be interested in.
Now, the first salesman may not have been completely off target. There was nothing wrong in mentioning that a bank used his product, but to base an entire sales presentation on such an approach is inviting disaster. He made the mistake of overlooking the you factor in selling. An endorsement by 10 banks wouldn't have influenced Ed's decision. He wanted to know what the product could do for his firm. Hopefully, the first salesperson has since learned that shooting out big names and unrelated companies just serves as an appetizer in selling. For the main course, you've got to get down to cases. You must sell the buyer on his or her particular needs. Each buyer has the right to know what your product can do for his or her company. Let's review the corrections to the mistake of not using the you element in selling.
When you're making your presentation, keep most of your examples within the prospect's industry.
Know your prospect's problems.
Understand your prospect's needs.
Always use the you element in selling. It's an important key to selling success. Dick is a salesperson who has avoided the 30th mistake salespeople make, not using presentation aids.
After I tell prospects what my product can do, I show them. Display material allows me to close sales that another 2 hours of talking couldn't accomplish.
The material Dick uses is familiar to all salespeople: exhibits, photographs, models, slides, videotapes, portfolios, statistics, graphs, charts, cartoons, samples, easel pads, blackboards, miniatures, and other items. These are valuable tools that have proven themselves time and time again as selling aids.
And it's important not to forget that the product itself is an important selling tool. If you've told a buyer that a cigarette lighter will light 100 times out of 100 times, pull out the lighter and show the buyer. Seeing is believing.
This simple principle is ignored by many salespeople, They scoff at display material as kid stuff. How mistaken they are. In our mass production economy, the difference in products is often superficial. Salespeople will often succeed or fail based on how dramatically and realistically they demonstrate their products. If you know your product thoroughly and have confidence in it, showmanship will help you sell it. If a customer can see, touch, smell, or taste the product, resistance becomes easier to crack. In any presentation, there is a time to stop talking and start demonstrating. Show the buyer what you've got. Should the order of your presentation be sales talk, then demonstration? Not necessarily. Sometimes it's better to open the interview with charts or video as an attention hook. Then, after a short explanation, a more complete visual presentation can be staged to clinch the sale.
But there's a danger here. The most elaborate equipment in the world is useless in inept hands. You should plan and rehearse so you won't bungle your performance. You should time your presentation to avoid snags and delays that will exasperate the purchaser. Make sure everything works. Screens unwind properly, VCRs start, easels stay upright. Otherwise, plop goes the easel. Just slightly embarrassing.
Most display material has been thoroughly researched and tested by promotion and advertising experts before you get it, so you benefit from their know-how. Studies show that buyers like demonstrations. Their interest in a product shoots up when they see it in action. Well-managed displays are fast-moving, provocative, and easy to understand. The prospect's opposition is broken down when an item's merits can be seen in graphic form. A visual can do more to drive home the message than an hour's monologue. Moreover, it's easier for the buyer to refer back to the visual to remember everything the salesperson has said.
And let the customer handle the display or product. Make him or her part of the act. It's a perfect way to learn firsthand what the product will do.
It's a mistake not to use display material, but it's equally wrong to rely on the demonstration alone to carry the day. Some salespeople are so impressed with their kits and folders that they let them do all the work. Occasionally, these salespeople will flip over a chart or insert a tape into the VCR. They forget that they're there to talk.
An intelligent, well-organized sales talk should be built around the demonstration. While you're showing, you should be talking. How much you say depends on the type of display. There's no sense repeating what your prospect can see. This only insults your prospect. But the right word at the right time effectively interprets the demonstration and plugs up any gaps in the display material. It also covers up any awkward pauses while setting up the equipment.
Be sure to find out as much as possible about the prospect before the demonstration. Then the displays can be tailored to the prospect's special needs, and you'll be prepared to answer any questions. Your sales demonstrations should be based on sound reasoning and good taste, not just razzle-dazzle. Display apparatus won't make a good salesperson out of a poor one. It won't cover up lack of knowledge about the product, and it won't supply enthusiasm. But in the hands of a capable, enthusiastic, and knowledgeable salesperson, such material will make selling more profitable, more professional, and more interesting. Let's review how the mistake of not using presentation aids can be corrected.
A properly handled demonstration can enhance a presentation tenfold. If a customer can see, touch, smell, or taste the product, resistance becomes easier to crack.
Be sure all the materials are in order and the equipment works. Time your presentation.
Let the customer handle the display or product. Make him or her part of the act.
Don't exhaust the buyer's time and patience with empty hoopla. Have your demonstration make a point. Base the presentation on sound reasoning and good taste.
Creating customer desire for your product is one of your most important tasks. What better way to accomplish this than by using exciting demonstrations?
I don't understand it. I really work at making prospects like me. I knock myself out trying to please them. Yet I just can't seem to make enough sales.
This salesperson wants to be liked. Most of us feel the same way. But the man or woman who bases a sales career on being liked is making a mistake. The 31st mistake salespeople make, being liked but not respected. Being respected is more important than being liked. It's hard to lose with a reputation for honesty, integrity, and dependability. When you project these qualities, the buyer will associate your product and company with quality, and as part of the process, they'll end up liking you too. Friendships are all right, but buyers want to do business with salespeople and firms they respect. They'll know that you stand behind your word, that you never make exaggerated claims or run down the competition, that you're loyal to both your company and the customer whose interests you look after. You have a strong code of honor. That's much more important than being a popular person with a glad hand. Many salespeople make such a fetish of being liked that they frequently leave a prospect's office with a handshake instead of an order. It's been a perfectly pleasant visit, but with no payoff. Hopefully, these salespeople will eventually notice that the buyer has adapted a patronizing attitude toward them. The buyer considers them pleasant, but not the type to entrust with business. They're amusing clowns, not to be taken seriously. There's no need to become stern, humorless, or dull. Just beware of trying to attract orders with a dazzling smile and a hearty manner. It takes more than personality to attract orders. A successful salesperson named Marty has excellent advice.
Never be afraid to stand up for what you think is right. Once in a while, you may rub a prospect the wrong way, but in the long run, you'll earn the admiration of just about everyone you meet. You can be a successful salesperson without being a doormat. You'll also find that you won't need to sacrifice being nice to be respected. Chances are you'll be liked even more and still maintain your self-respect.
Let's review the ways to correct the mistake of being liked but not respected.
Honesty, integrity, and dependability earn you a reputation that buyers trust. Respect, not friendship, makes the sale.
Don't overdo the glad hand approach. It's not necessary to be stern or humorless or dull, but rely on more than personality to make a sale.
Never be afraid to stand up for what you think is right. Once in a while, you may rub a prospect the wrong way, but you'll earn the admiration of most of the people you work with.
And that results in sales. Cultivating habits which earn esteem often requires courage. But one day, you'll hear this from a prospect.
I'm glad you're handling our account. You're a person I respect.
Can you think of a higher compliment? There's a vital element to every sales pitch: reaching buyers on a personal level. To do this, it's necessary to tell them about your product's benefits. Give them something they can relate to. Yet many salespeople make mistake number 32 of the 36 biggest mistakes salespeople make: selling technology instead of benefits. Listen as Keith's sales manager, Larry, talks to him about buyers' motivation.
Look, Keith, you're enthusiastic about our appliances, and that's great. You also know a lot about the manufacturing of our products and about their mechanical details, and that's fine, too, as far as it goes. But purchasing agents aren't interested in a long account of the production process. You're giving them too much detail and jargon. In their minds, our competition offers basically the same product.
I keep telling buyers that our product is superior to the others.
Right. But you're not talking their language. Your buyers want to know about profits, savings, comfort, safety, convenience, prestige. They don't care about the intricacies of the manufacturing process.
Oh.
Look, your knowledge of the industrial process is fine, if you can relate it to the buyer's interests.
How do you mean?
Well, we ran surveys, for example, that show we have only 2 breakdowns for every 1,000 toaster ovens we sell. Our competitors have from 3 to 12 times that many. Giving the buyer only the cold figures won't get you far. But you can stimulate desire by explaining how important such facts are to his or her profits and customer relations. When an appliance breaks down, a retailer risks losing a current customer and any future customers who hear that the store sells a bad product.
And customers will be suspicious of other items in the store.
Yeah, that's it. Plus, the retailer has to think of the time and cost of fixing the broken toaster oven.
Keith got the message. He began approaching buyers in terms of the customer loyalty and confidence that his products would inspire, and his sales skyrocketed. The moral here is, think like your buyers to win their attention and confidence. Learn your product thoroughly with an eye to the benefits, advantages, and satisfactions it holds for the potential customer. Study each buyer, determining that buyer's desires and motivations. Use your expert knowledge of your company's research and production to satisfy the needs and calm the fears of your buyers. Buyers place high value on peace of mind. They want to know that yours is a reliable product that will not only sell, but also won't cause complaints from their customers. Buyers pay a heavy price for faulty products and the loss of prestige and sales. Assuring a buyer that this will not happen is bound to get you an attentive ear. You can't expect to anticipate every need or problem of your buyers, but if you train yourself to think of your product in terms of what it can do for them, you're headed for success. Let's review how to correct the mistake of selling technology instead of benefits.
Reach the buyer on a personal level. Relate the product to the buyer's individual needs.
Technical terms can lose you sales. Tell the sales story in a language the buyer can understand. If you're technical, be technical with a purpose, related to the buyer's interests and customer benefits.
Buyers are rarely production-oriented. Talk to your prospect in terms of profits, savings, comfort, safety, convenience, and prestige.
Take advantage of your product's assets. Remember, you're selling benefits, not technology.